He had his hands all over your Legos.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Even More Mashed Up. We are the Fire Festival of podcasts.
Oh.
We promise supermodels and champagne, and all we deliver are two dudes talking about all things pop culture. I'm Allan.
I'm not sure we promised any of those things. And
You
I'm
know?
Patrick.
Well, what's our advertising look like? I assume it looks like Fire Festival
You think so?
advertising.
Yeah. I don't know, but
I would say it definitely looks like it was made for that festival.
Oh, you mean as the festival turned out,
Yeah.
not the actual...
yes, we're the
advertising
reality of the Fire
thereof.
Festival.
Yeah.
So, hey, Allan,
Yes.
I've got a sinking feeling there's something fishy about today's podcast.
I bet you're going to dive right into it.
And I think people will enjoy our dry humor, which bodes well for the rest of the season.
Should we get our feet wet?
Insert fifth water pun here.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Kind of the low-hanging fruit, however.
It was, yes. Well, I think that's our wheelhouse. Low-hanging fruit.
Yep. So obviously today we're talking about Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, clearly. If you could not guess from the various water puns.
So actually we're talking about Aquaman.
Yes.
And we're a tad bit late
Yes.
on Aquaman, but it's been in theaters forever.
It still was like the number 4 movie this week, I think.
So it's still relevant.
It
so
is.
people can't give us a hard time for talk. Now, in my defense, I saw Aquaman way back when it came out.
In my defense, I also saw Aquaman way back when it came out.
I was ready to go. But
Snow, dead car batteries,
Yeah, the dead car battery.
puppy dogs.
Yep.
A lot of things
Seems like
kind
it's
of got in the
almost all
way.
your problem.
It was
at
a
this
lot of me.
point.
It was a lot of me. Yeah, there's been a lot. You know,
Not
my
the
life.
snow.
My
The
life's
snow wasn't
been
him.
a little bit of a hot mess the last few days.
No, that's true. The snow, I guess, technically not
Not my fault.
Patrick's fault.
Though, in retrospect, we could have totally done the show last week when we closed because
Yeah, the
we
snow
were
came
like
later.
we were like the only school that closed.
Maybe next time it snows really heavily, Rich should come here, and we could just phone it in from home.
Or we just phone it in here.
Well,
like
that
we
way
usually
only-
do.
We'll just go to his house.
Only one of us is risking
There you go.
it.
Rich has to drive up here, get all the equipment, bring it to my house.
It's like I don't have all the equipment in my own house.
If we're gonna do that,
Oh.
let's bring it. To
I could do the whole thing with my own stuff.
Let's bring it to the boys' dorm. If we're gonna do that, if we're gonna go on the road.
No,
Yeah.
we should do it in the Legos, in the Lego Palace.
I don't know about the acoustics of the Lego Palace.
Yeah, no, the reverb off the
Yes,
Lego is not
That's
good.
my concern.
Plus
Is
the way
acoustics.
the way you were grabbing at his Legos makes me wonder if he'd have you in his house.
I'm very uncomfortable with Rich touching my Legos, particularly without permission. Lego my Legos.
Oh man, where's that commercial?
Yeah,
That's a
They don't
classic.
make commercials like they used to in the 70s. No. Having
was
sat
that-
through a
was that
bunch of
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
halftime
commercials.
commercial?
Yeah, I didn't really. I only made it through the first half of that game.
Really?
I mean, you missed nothing. You
You
could have
quit?
watched the last quarter.
Yeah, well, I had to go home and get Leia, and then she
Yeah.
was pretty tired, so
And it was
You could have watched the last quarter of the game and seen everything.
It
yeah,
was a terrible game.
yeah.
But we should talk about Aquaman.
We should talk about Aquaman.
Which I thought. Do you remember what I thought about Wreck-It Ralph 2?
That you hated it?
One of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yes.
Absolutely terrible.
Uh-huh.
Aquaman makes Wreck-It Ralph 2 look like high art.
Really?
Oh, Aquaman is a seriously terrible film.
Really?
Yes.
I did not have that reaction.
Really? What was your reaction?
I enjoyed Aquaman.
Ugh.
In that, this is my dilemma.
Yeah.
I can't decide if the Aquaman movie
Yes.
is a Zack Snyder film that takes itself much less seriously,
Yes.
or if it's a Michael Bay film that is not as insulting to my intelligence.
Neither one of those seems like good things.
I lean towards the Zack Snyder one, just because it's the DC extended universe.
Right. So it's a Zack Snyder film that doesn't take itself as seriously?
Yeah, exactly. If you think like Batman versus Superman, that was kind of so ponderous
You know,
and heavy.
if the not taking itself so seriously actually made the movie funny, I'd agree with you.
Well, the movie tries really hard to be funny.
That's not funny. There's a difference.
Really? Because that's kind of our wheelhouse.
Well,
is
that
trying
doesn't
to-
make us funny.
Oh,
we
no, it
try
does.
to be funny. It doesn't make us funny.
Well, that's true. It's when we're just
in
sort
your
of naturally
mind, there
funny.
may not be a difference between those things. Like
It's
Patrick trying, Patrick funny,
Yeah.
He
but it might not
desperately
always
needs to
translate
believe
that
there's
way.
no
Yeah,
difference.
Patrick trying, Patrick funny. Those are almost exactly the same thing. There's a
My point exactly.
a very slim shade of nuance there.
Yeah, I have never gone to a film with Vicky and Bobby. And let me say, we're very polite moviegoers. Mm-hmm. I've never seen them start whispering back and forth insults about the film.
Yes.
Like 10 minutes
No,
into the
I've
film.
seen your politeness. You have in the past bought tickets for someone.
That's true.
I knew
And
it.
Who then
I
ate
knew it was
all
gonna-
my
and
popcorn.
then very generously gave them all of your popcorn.
Well, now to be more honest though, I didn't think Rich was going to eat all of it. I
Yeah.
thought I was offering him.
Oh, are we talking about Rich?
I was offering
Who else could we be talking about?
I don't know.
I thought whoever we were talking about might take a handful or two. Mm-hmm. I did not expect
Well,
the
maybe that
entire
person was
face to go
hungry.
into the bucket. Yeah.
Maybe that person had no food that entire day.
Yeah.
So you're saying he devoured it kind of like a piranha.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a popcorn piranha.
His cheeks looked like a big blowfish.
Oh, there you go. Filled with popcorn.
Yep.
Which then he could shoot out of his mouth during the big battle scene in Aquaman.
Oh my God. It is such a terrible film.
Man, can you imagine that pitch session? So, it's going to take all the thing in its mouth, huh?
Yeah.
And then shoot it out. And this is a kid's movie. No.
No, it's kind of a kid's movie, but
And we're going to have Zack Snyder direct it, so it's totally not a kid's movie.
well, honestly, I don't hate Zack Snyder.
No, I don't either.
He's made good films. Watchmen is way underrated.
It is.
What's the one that I always try to get you to watch?
I know. The one with the video game
yeah,
thing.
with the video game meme thing. Rich, help us out here
Oh,
after you're done
God.
joking.
Ready Player One?
Oh, Ready Player One.
No.
Okay, not Zack Snyder in a terrible film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
It has Baby Doll in it.
It does.
And,
Oh, wait. Oh, Sucker Punch.
Sucker
That's
Punch.
it. I was like,
There you
like
You
it's.
said video game thing, and
I was thinking sugar something, but yeah, that's what it was.
go. Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch
Sucker
is
Punch is a
terrible.
great movie.
I've only seen it here and there.
I do have one nice thing to say about Aquaman.
Okay,
Then I have a small list of things to complain about.
I've got some other things to talk about as well.
Okay. All right. So you want to start with the positive? Let's start with the positives.
Well, this isn't really positive.
I love this.
This
The
is
movie is great. If it were funny, it
this
would
is
be great.
This is just so you know.
If it were not quite as dumb, it would be great.
Yeah. I know I haven't done this
Stunning
in a while,
Stunning. Oh, numbers?
but I just had to do it when I found this because
couldn't-
Box Office Mojo.
You said no numbers were coming
know.
this season.
So
but
you
they have a
lied.
ranking of films
Yes.
set underwater.
Oh, for God's sake.
Literally.
All right. You
No,
know
no,
what?
hang on.
I kind of missed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is called Underwater and is defined as, quote, movies that feature characters submerged underwater, parentheses, non-submarine.
Non-submarine. So The Little Mermaid would be on that list.
Probably.
So
I don't
would
remember
Deep
what.
Blue Sea be on that list?
Yes, a Deep Blue Sea, I think, was on there.
So,
But can you guess
Aquaman's not going to win
where
this.
Aquaman currently ranks?
Probably number one in terms of box office. Mm-hmm. He's made a ton of money.
He has.
I'd say 5 at best.
He's not number one.
He's not number one.
Okay, so number one would be Into the Blue.
No, that's number 14.
Seriously?
Wait,
Yes.
Into the
Oh,
Blue?
man, that was a
Really?
good movie.
Now, keep in mind, there's
It
only
was the
like
Jessica Alba vehicle.
yeah.
No, I know what it is. I was
Yeah.
like, you thought that would be number one?
Oh,
Well, here's
he-
the thing.
He loves that movie.
That movie dropped onto like cable right when I got my first big screen television that was high def. Mm-hmm. And the underwater vistas are actually quite spectacular.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about that film.
Yeah, yeah. I like to think of Aquaman as Into the Bro.
See, but that doesn't make it a good film. It's a good line though.
But yes, no. But the number one and number two,
So it's
Underwater.
Little Mermaid's not on that list?
I don't remember. It probably is because number one and number two are Finding Dory and Finding Nemo.
Oh boy, Finding Dory was
Wait,
There's a lot of
Finding-
there's a lot of Little Mermaid that's not actually underwater.
But it is an underwater movie.
I don't know.
So the whole movie has to be underwater?
Possibly. Well, no, because Into the Blue's on there, and that's not entirely underwater.
Right.
So,
Neither was Aquaman.
fun fact:
Neither is Finding Nemo.
Aquaman is the only non-animated underwater film in the top 6.
Really? Mm-hmm. So the others are animated, but they're
Yes.
not The Little Mermaid.
I don't remember what they are. I wrote these notes.
Wow,
like, a
that's
month ago.
awesome.
See, I thought you were actually leading us somewhere.
Not really. I was leading us underwater.
I think what we've
I
discovered.
was leading us under the sea.
I think.
And left
that,
us to drown.
Under the sea.
what we've realized. No, I got the reference.
Thank you.
But it's not on the list.
Understood that
yeah.
reference.
So, what he usually does is bring numbers, but Rich, he doesn't bring many because he assumes we're going to cut him off, and he won't have to go any further.
Also, in terms of
hopes-
box office,
He hopes we'll cut him
We
off.
just let him talk himself out that time.
So Aquaman is now tops among the DCEU movies in terms of worldwide box office.
Okay.
But is that impressive?
It is the first of them to break $1 billion.
Okay.
However, domestically,
Yes.
where does it fall in the DCEU?
Third.
Nope.
Fourth.
Fourth. It is behind Wonder Woman,
Of
Which-
course.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman,
It didn't make Batman versus Superman
and
money?
it's behind Suicide Squad.
Now,
by about 2 million.
Wow.
Now, does it still have time? It's still in theaters, right?
It is still in
So it
theaters.
technically has time.
Yeah, it is still in theaters.
It's got to be about ready to croak.
but it's
though.
got to be.
Yeah.
But
I don't
it's
think
about
it's got
2 million.
much
It's about
time.
2 million behind Suicide Squad.
So it's probably going to catch Suicide Squad.
I'm not sure. Hard to say.
$2 million shouldn't be hard.
You wouldn't think, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So numbers. It has been a wildly successful film,
it has been.
which I think says only bad things about the theater-going public in this country.
Yeah, that or it just says that Aquaman, just in general, sets a very low bar.
I
For a
think
successful
DCU
movie?
has such a low bar.
Here's what I would say in terms of your Michael Bay comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I will accept that Aquaman has entertainment value
Okay.
if you go in understanding that kind of what it is. Like is it like a popcorny action adventure film?
Yes.
It has some entertaining qualities to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible film.
I don't know if I'd say it's
Like if the
terrible.
last DC movie you saw was Wonder Woman, and then you see this,
Yeah,
you're
it's-
going to be very disappointed.
It's god awful.
I wouldn't say it's god awful.
It's
terrible.
terrible.
It's
Its politics are terrible. Its aesthetics are well.
what's wrong with its politics?
We'll get to that in a minute.
It's
There's nothing wrong with its politics.
no, I think it's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Could you tag that, Rich?
Yeah,
in
no,
the-
I do have some issues with the
in the tape. Yeah.
with the politics in some ways. I'm not sure if they're your issues, but there are some.
I-
There's perhaps some elements of the politics that don't make a lot of sense.
You think? Oh my god! I will say I wrote these notes like a month ago, Rich. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at them for the first time now.
Yeah.
And so every time Patrick says, I'm like, "Hey, that." Oh, and I'm like, "Oh no, I have that written down." It's just I'm reintroducing myself to how I
Yeah.
felt about this film. There's one thing the visual effects were pretty good overall.
Yeah.
I mean, the hair that kind of flowed all the time, I saw
Yeah.
some reviewers making fun of, but the undersea visuals were pretty cool. Like you have this opportunity to create like a whole new world.
Yeah.
And visually, I thought they did that.
New world. Oh, that's Aladdin.
I've got
That's
a fork, but
That's
I
not-
call it a dingle hopper.
yeah, whole new world is actually Aladdin.
Is
Yeah.
it? I never.
The opposite of an underwater movie, really.
Yes, well, but we actually
Why
do
is
get,
it? Because it's in the desert.
but we get a desert scene in Aquaman.
Yeah, which you used to think was stupid.
It was stupid.
It's still stupid.
It's still stupid.
So once again, Hamilton is pulling the classic. I really kind of like this film, and then a string of negative comments follows.
It's a perfectly serviceable Aquaman movie.
Okay, now I agree with you.
Yeah,
perfectly serviceable Aquaman movie.
Very by the numbers. Like you literally
Not
could
a
see.
serviceable superhero movie, but a serviceable.
You could
Aquaman
see
movie.
almost every plot point coming.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah,
No, really?
yeah.
Really?
Oh, do you think Ocean Master is going to figure out that Volko's betraying him at some point?
Do you think his mom's still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Look, you and Vicky are like masters at like Vicky will sit down and 2 minutes in, she'll be like, boom, and she's got the whole thing figured
Yeah.
out. I am terrible at that.
And you still
I
figured
saw
out
it.
Aquaman?
Like,
Yeah.
it was so in your face.
Yeah, no, I think Kurt Busiek on his Twitter feed mentioned something about he's like, I could literally tell you every single plot point just before it happened because it telegraphed everything and did nothing really unexpected.
Right. That I think is fair. So they create like this really cool looking world.
Yes. So do you agree with the I'm forgetting the director's name, James Wan? He's very upset that Aquaman did not get nominated for the Oscars for special effects.
Yeah, I don't think they need that.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
I don't.
okay special
I don't think they
effects,
got
but, like,
robbed.
yeah.
Of course, I don't know who else got nominated, so I'm really speaking from.
I'm pretty sure Avengers Endgame. I think Black Panther. I'm not sure what else.
Well,
Wait,
to be
Avengers
honest.
Endgame got nominated?
well, you know,
It got nominated for some. It only got nominated for one Oscar, but it was a technical one.
it
Aquaman
hasn't
should.
happened yet.
Oh, sorry, not Endgame. Infinity War. Sorry.
I was like, that would be great if
I'm pretty
it
sure
was.
Thanos snapped his fingers and gave them an Oscar.
Like, based
in
on the
advance.
trailer
Well, that's how they're
alone.
going to solve it, right?
Yeah.
Is by time travel.
Yeah.
So.
We saw the trailer. It's going to win.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know.
So I would say you could make an argument for Aquaman because, but in a way, like it's easier because it's this whole new world to special effects up. Whereas
Yeah.
like Black Panther, way better movie.
Oh yeah.
So, but they built this beautiful kind of cool looking world, and then they inhabit it with the dumbest group of men that have ever walked across a cinematic screen. They are stupid.
Which men?
All of them.
All of them? Okay.
Yeah. Name a smart one.
Aquaman's dad's not too bad.
I don't know if I know him well enough, but yeah, he doesn't strike me as real bright.
Yeah, but you know.
Right. Yeah. So almost immediately as you start watching this film, like if you know what's coming, you know that the real king of Atlantis should be
Namor?
Mira.
Oh.
Like Mira, like that's the bad politics of this film.
Ah.
She is the smartest by far. Like the men are around her, Orm, Aquaman. What?
I think it is Orm. That's right. Sorry. I thought it was Orn for a second, but I think I'm getting mixed up.
Isn't it Orm?
It is Orm.
You can fact check that if you want to.
No, it is Orm.
The men are dopes. She knows Atlantis, its history, its culture, way better than Aquaman. Like somehow this guy that's been living on land knows virtually nothing about Atlantis, and yet somehow has been training with an Atlantean, like stupid. He should be king.
Yeah, no,
like that guy.
Yeah, no,
is supposed to be king.
No, the fact that they make him king at the end, I'm like, that does not bode well for Atlantis, because this guy knows nothing about these people.
Right.
And also, these people prove to be just a wee bit fickle, because I'm pretty sure they were booing him like 2 hours before, and now he's their king.
Was it only 2 hours before?
I'm not sure.
It felt like about 40 in the theater.
it was kind of crazy. And it's one of the things I found. That's one of the things I kind of really enjoyed, because in the comics, Aquaman always becomes king at some point, and he always gets overthrown because the Atlantean people pretty much consistently suck. And they pretty much consistently suck in this movie.
Fair enough. But to get back to Mira real quickly, not only is she the smartest character in the film, she's also a badass.
Yeah.
Like when Aquaman and Orm are having their kind of lame-o fight to see who's going to be king
In
midway
the fire
through the film.
pit thing?
Yeah, like that, under the sea.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Aquaman's not an under-the-sea film because that last fight's over the sea.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you said The Little Mermaid didn't count.
I'm not sure.
I think I've caught you in your numbers in a contradiction.
I just might not remember the Little Mermaid's on the chart.
You just might not care.
Yeah, I might not care either.
But as they're going at it, like, and battling each other, she intervenes. I mean, Orm is destroying Aquaman.
Yes.
Right? Aquaman has no chance to win this battle.
Right.
She intervenes and immediately is on top. She could have killed Orm at that point had she chosen.
Well, yeah,
and then taken the mantle of Queen of Atlantis for herself, except for apparently women can't govern in Atlantis.
Yeah. Well, again, another way that.
But you said this film was
sucks.
fine. No, you said everything about this film was good, right?
No,
Which I asked you to mark that
I did not
moment.
say everything was
so
good.
you're okay.
No.
You're okay with a
No,
political
that
system
is
that's a
not what I said.
complete patriarchy
No, I did not say that.
that marginalizes women.
I did not say that.
And it's doomed itself to be destroyed by its own.
Well, that's for sure what's going to happen, because now they've got a guy who's.
Oh my God! Just like Game of Thrones is an allegory for the modern day United States. So is Aquaman.
So is Aquaman. So Aquaman is Trump.
Yeah,
Does that make,
Hillary Mira.
or is she Melania?
No.
No, she's not Melania.
Okay.
Well, but they do. Well, yeah. Can we stop?
Yeah.
I think we should.
This isn't going to go anywhere
The
good.
Game of Thrones thing went way better.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, if women had any opportunity to have any voice in society except to, like, stand there, dress pretty, and be told who to marry,
Yeah.
Atlantis would be way better off with Mira in charge. She's the only smart, interesting, proactive character in the entire film.
I don't know. Orm does raise a massive fish army to take on the surface dwellers' pollution of the ocean.
I have some complaints about the various issues that you've raised there.
That's
too.
kind of taking a kind of action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a action. It's
Stupid.
not a good one.
Yeah.
Over the top, unthoughtful.
I do like when
Doom
he's
to
supposedly
fail,
going along and
bludgeoning.
trying to get like the other underwater empires to join him.
Yeah.
And he goes to like the first one and like just immediately kills everybody. And I'm like, well, that escalated quickly. So much for the, peaceful, let's join together.
But that's because Orm's a bad guy and Aquaman's a good guy. Oh, that's right. Aquaman literally left Black Manta's father to die.
Yeah, that's not really a
Actually,
great moment for him.
Going up the ladder, turns around and looks at him. Stares at him for a couple of moments, turns around and goes up.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I
Aquaman
made
creates
sure.
his own worst enemy there.
But in a really stupid, trite way.
Yeah. Did you say a trident thing?
That's a good pun.
Thank you.
That's a good
Is
pun.
it?
Thank you. That's what
You
I'm
don't like it?
That's what I'm contributing today.
Okay.
I do say that one of the things I do like about the film.
The disenfranchisement of women. What else?
No, regarding Black Manta and Ocean Master, which is Orm's actual identity, which is possibly the stupidest name.
Man,
is
just
that-
hearing you say the names of the
I
characters
know.
in the Aquaman universe. It's
Is
like,
that
Right.
I've got more on that?
And it's a stupid movie.
Is
Go ahead.
that I'm not sure I've seen more comics accurate outfits than Black Manta and Ocean Master.
Yeah.
Like, they are 100% like they walked off the comic page.
And that's the kind of thing you love, because you're
do.
a canon guy.
I do. It made me very excited about the Spider-Man trailer when they show Mysterio.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's got the dome on his head. I'm happy.
Yeah. You gotta have the
Who
dome.
cares about plot?
gotta have the-
and
yeah, I'm like, oh, look,
storytelling?
Mysterio.
You know what? I'm okay. I think Marvel is going to be okay with Spider-Man.
I think so.
I think they'll do it.
But
Honestly, if that's
but
the
the other
worst they
concern
do-
I have is that once you get past, so we've got Aquaman's big success. Clearly, there's going to be a sequel.
Oh, do we have to
But
watch
once
that
you
one?
get past Black Manta and Ocean Master, you do not. There are no other Aquaman villains.
But Black Manta's not an interesting villain. Like, if he's the big bad for the second, like, I have zero interest in it.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what else there is for him to do besides teaming up with the scientist dude.
But could we go back to Ocean Master for a minute?
Yes, we can.
One of the things that I thought
Such a
was
great name.
the really stupidest thing in the film. Well, that's not true, because there's a lot of stupid
Yeah.
in this film. But is it anything stupider to watch two grown men vie for the title of Ocean Master? And the film would always. Did you see the film, Rich?
I did not.
Was I supposed to pay for your ticket?
No, I just was not going to watch Aquaman.
Fair choice. Is it every time they got to like the Ocean Master, there'd always be like a pause, and you'd literally hear the music.
Ocean Master.
Dum dum dum. Ocean Master.
I want them to.
Scary name.
The first time, the three of us giggled. Like the second time, they did dum dum dum. Ocean Master.
Yeah.
We were rolling on the floors of the theater. It was so ridiculous.
Oh, theater
I
floors are
want them to go.
disgusting.
I
would
want
not do that.
I want him to go into like the land and like go to like.
So here's a
Batman,
question.
Like, I am the Ocean Master.
Right. Every time Orb says
And
it, it's
look
like
at him, just like.
he says it with such gravity. Like I'm the
Yes.
ocean.
It's a name that has a lot of gravitas to it.
The master.
a
Like
lot
you
of-
could have called him
I don't
the
think you know what
master of the ocean.
gravitas means,
Oh
sir.
no, there's a lot of gravitas there.
Really?
Not really. No, it's a stupid name.
Yeah. but the way they drummed it up and the
Well,
way
they
they
have to because
presented it.
Aquaman has exactly two enemies that are worthwhile. And
Yeah, but you could have made
they are
Ocean
Black
Master
Manta
more
and
interesting.
Ocean Master.
He didn't have
But that's
to.
the problem. Ocean Master is not interesting.
They could have changed for the film.
He actually did one interesting thing, which will be interesting to see if they do in the sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do it in this film.
No, because they can't because he in the comics he murders Aquaman and Mara's infant son, like straight up kills him.
Wow. So that would
Arthur
be
Jr. He is Arthur Jr.
Yeah. Of course he is.
Kills him.
I don't think they're going to go that route.
I don't think they are either.
They're clearly setting him up for
Now, if
redemption.
it was Zack
right?
Snyder
That's
still at the helm,
Yeah.
oh, that baby's dead.
Oh yeah.
That baby's toast.
Yep. And it won't be a short scene either.
No, it'll be lengthy,
Long,
It'll be slow
drawn
motion.
out. Yeah.
and then
Black and
you know,
white, kinda.
Very bloody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman will make up with Ocean Master when they learn that Ocean Master's son's name is also Arthur.
Wait, don't they have the same mother? So they could
Yeah, they do have the same.
So they
mother.
could-
But
that
that might be
props-
a little on the nose.
already solved.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you think they care at this point?
Like whatever her name is, I can't even remember.
Atlanta, I think is what it is.
oh, it's
is
not
it?
Martha.
Yeah, that's Nicole Kidman's character. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Atlanta. Yeah, Queen Atlanta, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. Well, Queen in a only ceremonial, has no power kind of way.
No, she's just supposed to marry and have the babies.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
System
English.
endorsed by one half of the show.
I
but
did not
the
endorse
other.
that system.
I don't know.
Richard, you tag that
That
moment
is
when
a
I
flawed. That
At
is a
15:20,
that is
I
a
feel like you said
flawed
something
system.
different.
That is an inherently flawed system.
That you seem to be. in
we can all
support of.
grow, and that's important.
But
Patrick.
Atlantis always sucks.
Yeah.
Even in the Marvel universe, Atlantis kind of sucks.
Is there any good part of Aquaman, like in the canon, and like not just the movie? Is there like
No, he loses his hand, and that's dumb. He grows
I mean
a
that
beard, and that's dumb.
I mean the Peter David version that kind of gave us hook hand Aquaman and that this Aquaman is very much particularly visually kind of based on
Yeah.
is about as good an Aquaman like
Peter
that,
David is a very talented.
yeah like
writer.
that was Aquaman at like
because
his
the one
highest
thing I know
point.
about Aquaman is that everyone makes fun of him, like as
Yes,
being
they do.
one of the lame superheroes.
Again, I think that's why this movie is successful is because Aquaman is so lame that even
Okay.
a halfway decent movie is doing better than you thought. Like
think-
Aquaman set such
yeah.
a low bar for expectations.
That's interesting. Interesting theory. See, to me, I would like to think that it's doing well because it's like a Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
It's a film that thinks it's doing something, but in fact is doing something that's really just kind of camp.
Well, yeah, I mean, because when you were talking about Ocean Master and stuff like that with the I was like, is Aquaman like this century's Flash Gordon? remember the Flash Gordon movie in the 80s.
Yes.
That is so cheesy.
Right. I think that...
Flash!
Yeah. Classic.
So good.
Which turns down the sound.
Yeah.
No, I was going to
save
mark
the
that. I was
universe.
going to mark that time on the recording.
That is, come on. Oh, that soundtrack. But yeah, I'm like, Aquaman has, there's elements of...
Right. Which is also kind of Ghost Rider-y in a way, you know? That, like Nick Cage's first Ghost Rider film, which I love.
Right.
I love largely because it has a campiness to it that it doesn't know that it has.
Well, and that's one of the
I think
things
Aquaman has the same thing, but doesn't hit it as often.
Well, and one of the things that I find really interesting thinking about Aquaman within kind of the larger DC filmic sort of universe is that this film introduces like a ton of like Aquaman backstory and mythology.
Yes.
And what I find really interesting is this movie seems to have succeeded despite that in ways that Green Lantern, which did much the same thing.
Yeah.
Like one of the main complaints about Green Lantern was that they introduced like the core and all of this stuff all at once, and it was just way too ponderous a movie. Aquaman is introducing in its own way as heavy a mythology.
It's just as ponderous.
But I think
it's more
Green
ponderous than
Lantern
Green
takes
Lantern.
its mythology way too seriously.
Yeah.
Whereas Aquaman, there's a degree of kind of camp and just kind of recognizing that, you know, we have an army of giant crustaceans.
I wish.
Attacking each other.
By the way, when Atlantis collapses into the sea and they can all suddenly just breathe underwater, that's a weird move.
Pretty sure that's how evolution works.
Okay. All right. So I haven't taken a science class
I'm
in
no
a while.
scientist.
So
It's
I'm no
pretty convenient.
scientist,
Otherwise,
but I'm
it'd be
pretty
5
sure
minutes
evolution
long.
happens like that quickly.
So if we just pushed you in the Susquehanna
I would grow gills,
and be fine.
apparently.
Okay.
So then everyone else just drowned, just didn't try hard enough?
Well, they just aren't the fittest to survive.
Survival
apparently.
of the fittest?
Yeah, it's clear they were
Survival of the fishest.
Not. Oh God. Okay, that was well done.
Thank you. So I was glad to see DC continuing in the tradition of ham-fisted musical selections. Toto's Africa.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about that.
Made even worse by the fact that it's not Toto doing the song. It's a cover.
It's a cover of
of
Africa.
Toto's Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toto wouldn't do it, so it's like, we want it in there.
They're like, Toto's like, even we're too good for Aquaman. Like,
And
we
it
don't want to
wasn't-
embarrass ourselves.
And it wasn't the Weezer version,
Right.
Which is also I kind of enjoy the Weezer.
Yeah,
version.
no, it's just a lame version.
Yeah. Which is hard to imagine because Africa is such a great song.
It's a catchy song.
It's a great song.
I don't know what.
I mean, it's an okay song. It's definitely catchy.
It's catchy.
I mean, there's certainly another song from the 80s that I think is even more sort of ubiquitous in its usage
Is it about
in terms of representing the 80s.
I can't go for that.
No. It's in Bumblebee.
I don't even remember what was in Bumblebee at this point.
One of the tapes she puts in plays Aha's Take on Me.
Oh, of course, for you, it's
It's
Aha.
always Aha's Take.
Now, I
on
will
Me.
say, Aha is emblematic of the 80s.
Oh, in so many great ways.
Not a great song, but very catchy. It's a catchy song.
Great song.
It's a
and a great video.
throwaway pop
It's an okay video.
plastic video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Aquaman. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the fact
We
that Green
have to.
Lantern took its mythology so seriously.
Yeah.
Whereas I think there's an element of Aquaman that it's kind of Flash Gordon-y, kind of campy.
Yeah. But to me, there's not enough commitment to camp.
No, there's not.
It's a very uneven movie in that way. Like at moments, like it wants you to think of it as a very serious movie, and then at other moments, it's like,
could have just peed on it.
yeah, oh my god, I can't believe they left that in.
Yeah.
You would think after they ran the trailer, and everybody must have been like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, but no, they did.
No, they kept that in.
So we already talked about the shock that his mom was alive, right? That we didn't see that one coming.
No, didn't. That was a surprise. Couldn't have predicted that.
You know, those are my favorite parts of the film.
We just threw her into the Reach. We don't know what happened to her, but we presume she's dead. I'm like, no, she's not dead.
Yeah, of course not.
I'm like, she's clearly like got command of the Reach or something, or like.
It was so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The movie does have a certain element of just kind of going through the motions and
Right.
and very by the numbers, and you kind of know.
Which is one of the fundamental ways in which it falls short of like the really good Marvel stuff.
Oh yeah.
The really good Marvel stuff reaches for and achieves something more than a paint by number.
Well, and it says something about kind of the state of the DC extended universe that, you know, a movie like Aquaman that is so by the numbers
Yeah.
can be, you know, sort of hailed as this. What I find interesting is that it's been hailed as this great success, and I'm like, out of your 7 films, it's number 4. Like, it's not really.
Yeah.
Compared to your list of failures, it's pretty good.
I don't want
Yeah.
to say this because every time I say it on the podcast, Patrick starts to tear up a little bit.
No.
It is movies like this that are going to kill the superhero genre eventually. It's movies like this that people look at and they say, like, superhero movies have nothing to say to us. They're like not Black Panther. That Black Panther is this anomaly that might get nominated for awards, but that it's just this like mindless fluff.
I don't know
That
because
Bill Maher is right
I look at
about
that-
comics and the people who love them.
except for the fact that Aquaman is apparently a huge success as a film.
Yeah, well,
Well, a huge
financially,
commercial
right? But you
success.
just wonder like if people are going to eventually be like, I've seen enough of it.
I don't know. I don't think there's. I think.
I know you don't. I'm
Well,
just
no. I
warning
think in
you.
terms of, I don't think Aquaman has the kind of staying power in people's minds that they're really going to think of it.
Maybe.
Like
But they
it's
make
very
a
much
sequel.
like you said. It's very much that kind of popcorn movie.
Here's my
Like,
warning.
it's a perfectly good way to go kill. I think I saw it like a couple days after Christmas. And
Brain cells.
yeah, just kill a couple brain cells for a few hours and just veg out. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch my big stupid underwater epic movie.
If you don't start holding superhero movies to a higher standard on a platform like this that has real power, you will be partly responsible for the
I
death
like
of
to think
superhero
that I
movies.
hold
When you come on this show and you say Aquaman
this
was
fro,
quite
when I
good,
come on this fro.
yeah, the Shro. I said Shro.
Okay.
And you say Aquaman was great.
I didn't say it was
There's
great.
no credibility.
I did not say it was great.
You said it was a good film.
I said it was serviceable.
No.
And that I enjoyed it.
Those were not
You
the
know,
words you used.
This is one of my favorite shows. Is the show where Patrick stakes himself to a ridiculous position to start and spends the next hour walking his way back. And by the end of this hour, Rich, Patrick will be completely convinced.
Film is an abomination.
Exactly.
Okay, in my defense, that's
like
like
so
every
nice
episode
and
of the
happy.
podcast.
It's like you come to the
Yeah.
show like optimistic, like you've forgotten enough of the film.
Yeah.
That you think, oh, it's not that bad, and then it will remind you of every horrible bad thing in it.
Yep.
And you're like,
And then by the end, he's like, I told you it was bad. Why didn't you listen to me? You know what I loved? The title credits when they would switch scenes that said, somewhere in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Africa. It was lame. We started making fun of those too.
Yeah.
Like the title cards were stupid.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to mimic sort of like the Civil War that had the title cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all you
it's
need,
just
all you need to do is write.
or Infinity War.
All you do is
space.
write the Atlantic.
yeah.
It's
No.
the somewhere in
Like,
that
if
drove
you
me
don't
nuts.
know where it is, don't
Yeah.
tell us.
Well, but you got to realize it's a very sort of momentous place that it is. It's not just the Atlantic. It's somewhere.
I know.
In
Dom,
the
dom,
Atlantic.
dom, the ocean master.
Somewhere
somewhere next
in
to the
Africa.
Arby's down
I'm like,
the street.
yeah. But the other thing I love is somewhere in Africa. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they said it was the Sahara.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
like,
not-
also, like, the
it's
movie
not-
doesn't know.
It's not
Like, we
somewhere in Africa. It's the Sahara
So
Desert.
why do you use the somewhere? Because Rich is right. The movie knows where it is.
Yeah.
Often we know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And third, if it's in the Atlantic, it doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
So why?
To create kind of that sense of
Stupidity.
mystery and grandeur.
Also, as a viewer,
and gravitas.
yeah.
Listen, Ocean Master is somewhere in the Atlantic.
Like, I wish that was the sub. I wish that was the, like,
Mastering ocean.
Ocean Master,
No, you
dot,
need-
dot, dot,
you need-
somewhere in the Atlantic.
You need to do it in your monster truck voice.
Ocean Master somewhere in the Atlantic. With Black Manta. Oh, can I also say
Who,
that
by
I-
the way, is the most boring stock
He is.
villain.
Can I say that and again, this kind of goes
Yeah.
back to just kind of the stupidity that the movie actually goes out of its way to explain why his helmet is so big.
Yeah. We know what I'd rather it explain. Why does he look like a Power Rangers villain? You could literally take him.
Oh no, it's
superimpose him in a Power Rangers like 80s.
Oh yeah. Well, not even him,
in-
but also like the Atlantean henchmen with him that are
Yeah.
chasing Mara are even more like, well, that's
Yeah.
a bunch of putties.
Yeah.
Right,
Put him
right?
next to Rita
I mean, it's-
Repulsa, and it's like, there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Rita Repulsa is actually a more realistic and threatening villain than Black Man. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I just got to feel like that radiation sort of blasting out of his face
Yeah.
is not really good for his health.
You wouldn't think so.
Now, with like that is really close to your head.
Your what? Your head? Your head?
It is
Yeah.
close to his hate.
Yeah. And again, Black Manta, Aquaman's the worst hero in the world. That he doesn't go back to save that guy.
No.
Jim Roberts must have hated this film. because he hates the anti-hero. Like, he wants the 50s era Superman. He
Yeah.
wants, and Aquaman is not that.
No,
I'd be more
he's
interested
the
in watching a movie
Aquabro.
about that from DC.
Yeah.
Like, just give me something different, at least.
Yeah.
They gave you Aquabro. How much more different could you get?
So much more different. Have you watched anything from Marvel? Like, it'd be
No, I
very
have not.
different.
I'm not familiar with the Marvel universe.
Every time I text Patrick in the evening, he's like, I'm watching Marvel
Avengers
X.
on.
You know, whatever's on.
Oh, look, Avengers is on TNT.
And there's so many movies now.
I totally
Like,
understand why you know the universe so much better than me. Like, you've literally watched everything, 20 times?
I really couldn't tell you at this point.
So 20, that answer suggests that 20 is
a low
low.
number.
Well, no, because like I
Because
don't.
now he's dodging it. It's not like it was 100.
Yeah,
Well,
add a
no,
zero
because
to
like
that.
I don't like watch Avengers on TNT from like start to finish. It's like I'm scrolling through the cable, and I'm like, oh, Avengers is on. It's 7:30. Oh, it started at 6. I'll put it on. And so I watch like for a few minutes until something else is on.
Got it.
Because I think there was literally a point where they had on one channel had Civil War, another channel had Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I think another channel had Doctor Strange. I'm like,
Choices.
Pretty soon they're all just going to be on all the time against each other.
That's right. And it's going to kill the superhero genre if you don't start being a gatekeeper.
I don't like being a gatekeeper. I believe in welcoming all into the warm embrace.
Soon you're gonna
of
have
superhero
his
movies.
Bumblebee. If you weren't hard enough on the Transformers, then you wouldn't have had Bumblebee.
Right.
What? He's not hard on the
Our
Transformers.
criticism
I know, and
of...
that-
Whoa!
led to
Our
Bumblebee.
criticism of
Yeah,
Transformers.
absolutely.
'Cause I'm pretty sure.
It's how I remember it, Rich.
Oh, really? Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich, mark that one.
Let me walk myself back.
Oh, the Transformer movies are good popcorn films.
Oh, whatever I said last is what I've always said.
The Allan Austin story.
The worst.
You're the worst. You're acting like Aquaman is not the embodiment of the Transformer franchise pre-Bumblebee.
Is that what now we have the pre-Bumblebee and the post-Bumblebee?
Yes.
We're gonna do a Bumblebee show next week, so we should leave
talk
talk
too much
about
about
that.
Bumblebee. But
So, Vicky noted, and I think she's right, that there is absolutely zero chemistry between Aquaman and Mira.
oh yeah,
Like there is, like they accidentally hold hands, or he catches her when she falls from a statue.
to be fair, there's not a lot of chemistry, period, in this film.
Agreed. It's a very inhuman film in that way. Like these aren't real people.
Yeah.
In any kind of way.
Yeah.
But like there's just it's just all these memes about Aquaman when the movie came out about how my mom doesn't like superhero movies, and they'd show a picture of Momoa and they'd be like, but she wants to see Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
So like a film that was kind of obviously playing on his sexuality, and his attractiveness. Like there was no chemistry whatsoever between them.
No.
None. Although when they kiss for the first time, I don't know if you noticed the way his trident sort of goes.
Oh no, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that.
You didn't notice?
I did not notice that.
It was the most obviously phallic moment I've ever seen placed in a film.
Does it really? Even including that Superman film, the cartoon strip with the
Oh. You're talking about 11th Hour.
yeah.
Yes, that's a...
With the
going the other way. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody knows what you
Which
mean.
it's great
but-
because no one can see what you're doing.
Yeah, got it. So my point being, like, I could appreciate kind of the humor, but it was only funny because people had no chemistry between
yeah.
themselves.
No, they
whatsoever.
Well, and
Like, it
again,
was-
I don't.
By the time the Trident...
Everyone's very kind of cardboardy and
Yeah.
wooden in this film.
By the time the Trident rose, the three of us we couldn't control ourselves. And everybody else in the theater was taking it seriously.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you just those people in the theater that compared to everyone else.
And the Austins are the most polite theater goers you've ever seen. Like, the movie has to be terrible. I let somebody eat an entire bucket of popcorn after I paid for their tickets. You want to question my politeness?
No, I believe I pointed out that was evidence of your politeness earlier.
Thank you.
Did we
but-
mark that?
So I'm in...
Did you mark that?
Nope.
Mark it.
Mark it. So I've got some fair or foul.
Oh, I got just a couple more quick observations.
Okay.
The Kraken was the least scary Kraken I have ever seen. It looked like an overgrown hermit crab. And it comes out of the sea floor, Rich, and it's just like...
I missed the Kraken from the original Clash of the Titans.
Right. That's a
that.
Kraken.
That's a Kraken.
Or even
Right.
the Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, that's a lame Kraken.
Oh, but better than the Aquaman Kraken.
Yeah.
The Aquaman Kraken was terrible. Oh, by the way, I love that Aquaman has a deep knowledge of Roman history. Doesn't know that Pinocchio was a book. Just going to point that out.
There's some gaps in his knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little.
Wait, but does he not know or Mara doesn't know? Because
He doesn't know. He's like,
Just
all I know
all-
is a book.
Does all
He
of
doesn't know.
Atlantis
He knows
not
Pinocchio
know?
in the movie. That's
He'd only
right.
seen the
Okay.
movie.
That's right.
Right? Because he's a dumbass.
Right. He's an Aqua bro.
Right. But he knows everything about Roman history.
He's too busy.
Oh, by the way, if you don't know your Roman history, put the spyglass on the one guy that still has a hand. Of all the statues in the circle, Bobby's like, there's only one guy that can actually hold the spyglass. It's just it's a circle of broken statues.
Yeah, it is.
It-
Or maybe you put it in. Maybe you go to the statue that's kind of most forward in the direction
right,
you want to go
right.
in.
The one that's at the front with a hand to hold the and by the way, thank God the ravages of history
Left that
destroyed
hand there.
everything but that hand.
Yeah. Well, thank God
Yeah,
all
like,
the
what
other
happens?
statues
Like,
are
oh, the
trashed
hand's
beyond
gone.
repair, but
Yeah.
that
Are
one
we
is
just
untouched.
screwed?
Yeah, it was so stupid.
Yeah. Well,
Come
now
on.
again, they're trying to sort of emulate a kind of Indiana Jones type thing there.
Don't compare Indiana Jones. to
Maybe,
this.
but it's terrible.
Oh, it is terrible. Yes.
It's like one of those video games where you have to solve a puzzle, but like it's right there in front of you. And so you mentioned the environmental message,
Yes.
which was nice.
Yeah.
I guess,
Well,
but
I will. in
but
Ocean
really
Ma-
heavy-handed.
in Ocean Master's defense.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about the
Right.
surface world
so
and their destruction of the environment.
so that he's justified, you're saying, in committing genocide against the surface
I'm
world.
not saying that. I'm just saying he's not wrong that the surface world has done horrible things to the ocean.
That is true. I will agree with that. For example, staging Aquaman in it.
Yeah.
So my question to you, before you do the fair or foul, last
Yes.
thing, was this the worst DC movie ever?
No. For me, Suicide Squad is still worse than this.
Well, I wrote likely not, but only because others were really terrible.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like Suicide Squad,
I have
is just,
Suicide Squad below it
is
for
just
sure.
such a hot mess of a movie. Like that.
I mean,
like
the Batman v Superman.
I think Batman v Superman it might be beneath it.
it's
too.
I
It's just so dark
it
visually.
is so dark, but
Like,
it's at least somewhat more competent of a
and
film.
it's got Martha.
I know.
Like that, yeah. That brings
So,
down
but you,
much.
so you would have Aquaman then, like, as like a bottom dweller.
Well,
I mean, above Suicide Squad, but
yeah.
but below Justice League.
so hard to judge with DC movies.
Yeah, I mean it's probably on a par with Justice League.
Batman
I like
versus
Justice League a little
Superman.
bit better, I would say.
Yeah. Although I had a lot of complaints about Justice League too.
Yeah.
Really, when you
Well,
look
I
at
don't
the,
hate Man of Steel as much as other people do.
I don't love Man of Steel,
Yeah.
but I don't hate. I watched it recently, and I didn't hate Amy Adams as much as I
No.
used to. So I don't know what that says,
That
but
to me says you're growing as a person.
so essentially what you have is you have Wonder Woman up here, like
Yes.
like at number one, and then everything else,
Everything
starts
else
at like
is
six.
is a distant, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
yeah, I mean because DC has just not done good stuff with their films. Yeah.
All right, so you wanted to do fair or foul? We've got like
Yes.
maybe 10 minutes.
All
to
right,
do a little
well,
fair or
we-
foul.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from Sergio Pereira
Okay.
of Comic Book Resources.
Ah,
Quote, "Are we even surprised Aquaman is already a bona fide success?
yes, we are.
Director James Wan has repeatedly proved he knows how to make films that both appeal to audiences and satisfy the financial demands that come with making blockbusters.
What's his previous?
Considering his current and past successes, it's clear that Wan is the new king of the blockbuster.
What else has he done?
I think he did some of the Fast and the Furious movies,
Okay.
Okay.
Let's Google.
and
Yeah.
possibly some of the Saw films. He doesn't have a hugely long resume.
Well, you know what's lucky for him is that Michael Bay is stepping away from the Transformers franchise, so there's now an opening to be the king of.
Well, this is actually
blockbuster making.
the title of this article is actually something like "Move Over Spielberg." James Wan is the new.
Oh, okay. So he's
Yeah.
Spielberg?
Yeah, basically Spielberg and
Maybe move over Ready Player One Spielberg.
maybe it was Spielberg and Lucas, but it was definitely Spielberg. Was definitely Move Over.
Wow.
Like basically the idea that James Wan, based on Aquaman, is replacing
Compared
Spielberg.
to what Spielberg did in the 80s, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, compared to any one of Spielberg's films
Yeah.
in the
But-
80s, let
so
alone.
if any horror movie in the last 10 years has been him. Like
Okay.
Insidious, Conjuring. The
That's
Nun,
that's right. That's the franchise he was on. Was Insidious.
Also, most of the Saw movies.
Okay.
Annabelle. He did the last Fast and the Furious movie. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Is 7 the last one?
I don't know.
I really don't keep track of them.
So I'm going to call foul on that because I don't think he's got the the back record.
No, he's basically got Aquaman and whatever Fast and Furious movies that he's done as blockbusters. Everything else is much more of a horror, of a smaller horror type.
Made money and were popular.
Yeah, to his credit, like he makes popular films that make money. That's fair. But move over Spielberg.
Yeah, well, when you think about what Spielberg did in terms of making popular movies that sell, but also that were really good.
Yeah.
Except for Ready Player One, which is terrible.
Let me run some fake news by you.
Oh.
Because it comes from the New York Times.
Okay.
Oh, boy, fake news.
Headline, Our hero swims. His movie sinks.
Oh.
Here's what they write
I'm all for it.
on Momoa. But none of that surf humor and none of that hotness are really anywhere in this movie. It's just 2.5 hours of oceanic screensavers and hair that won't stop undulating, so we know that we're underwater.
What was the first bit about Momoa?
None of the surf humor and none of that hotness are really anywhere in the movie.
In his defense,
Yeah.
he is wet for most of the movie, so that would quench the hotness.
So you're saying it's fair. Golf clap. The only appropriate response. The New York Times goes on.
Slow clap.
Yeah.
There's no joy or wonder to behold, just comic book movie blah blah. All these larded on extra characters and extraneous plot leave you with the sense that nobody trusted Momoa to carry more of this thing on his own.
I would say that's fair. I mean, they used up, like, I really don't see what you need to do an Aquaman, like a second Aquaman movie for.
Right.
Because you have used up pretty much everything there is.
Except for the fact that he's going to be in the next Justice League or whatever, like, so they need to give him
I'm
more.
not sure there's going to be a next Justice League.
I'm sure they hope for.
How could they not have another Justice League?
Like they
I don't know. They've already, they
They might
announced
as well
this
just
week
be
that you know,
admitting.
the Batman film that's coming out is not going to be with Affleck.
Yeah.
Cavill's out as Superman.
Right.
I'm not sure what's going on with the Flash film.
They're going to reboot the whole thing?
I don't know. Well, but they can't because Wonder Woman's the one thing they've got, and now Aquaman. I think, you know, the Wonder
That's
Woman and
why
Aquaman are still.
Maybe spin Wonder Woman onto Earth 2?
I don't know what they're going to do.
I'd like the Flash with the plate or the bowl on his head.
Oh, classic Jay Garrick Flash?
Yeah. Because if you want to run really fast, you should balance like a bowl.
The
on your
metal,
head.
yeah, that seems like a
makes
good
a lot of
idea.
sense.
Well, you know.
So, just to be clear, you called the review fair that trashes the film that you started by saying was really good.
I didn't say really good. I said good. I said I enjoyed it. It was mindlessly entertaining.
It was mindless.
Yes, and entertaining.
If I can quote that part of it, I will go with you.
I've got another fair foul.
Go for it.
So this is from Leilani Safer of Hypable.
Of Hypable?
Quote, "It's a win for anyone who likes their superhero movies big, bold, and audacious. For anyone who likes having a great time at the theaters. And for anyone who's cheering for more superheroes at the box office. Because that's certainly what we're going to get now that Aquaman has hit that $1 billion mark."
There's probably some fair in that we'll keep cranking out, but not good superhero movies as a result of Aquaman. It is kind of big and bold in terms of the visuals.
It's big.
And then in the middle, what was the middle part of that was...
Anyone who likes having a great time at the theater.
Okay, that part I'm going to call fair on, but not the way that she means it. Because it was not a good time at the theater, unless you were sitting with Vicky and Bobby.
Yes, and listening to them snark
mocking
at it,
the film.
doing sort of
the
mystery
entire,
science theater.
Yes, yeah.
Which
yeah.
I'm sure your compatriots in the theater enjoyed.
That I found... They, like when Aquaman and Mara kiss, they go, "Oh!" It was a terrible audience. They had no taste whatsoever.
Yeah, like did you have like a paid audience in there?
Did
you go to the Hollywood premiere?
I left. And it was packed in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Or maybe we saw it up in Moosic. But like in Neepaw, it was packed, and people really seemed like invested in the film in a serious kind of way. It made me question humanity.
Well,
Like, can we sustain civilization
like a good superhero movie
with
should.
people that watch Aquaman and like it?
We've sustained civilization with people watching worse things.
I guess. $1 billion things?
Oh, there's got to be a bad $1 billion
Transformers.
movie.
Those are good films.
No,
so
they're
they don't
not.
count.
Whoa! No.
The Transformer films are really good.
No, they are not.
Because
Well,
unlike
that
Aquaman,
time.
They are
the difference
not.
between them and
No.
Aquaman is that Michael Bay acknowledges
No, he does not. No, he does not.
that
Michael
he's
Bay
doing a
acknowledges
hyper
no, he does
action
not.
film. Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
How else
The
do you
only
explain
thing
the
Michael-
lights coming one direction and the shadow shooting the other?
He's a terrible director.
That's a man.
Post production.
That's a man who's working to make a statement that you all have missed.
The only thing
You
Michael Bay,
all have missed.
Shame on you, cultural
the only
critics.
thing Michael Bay acknowledges is Michael Bay.
Which is the beauty of
It's
it.
not beautiful.
Yes, when he
No.
embraces his inner Michael Bay.
There is no inner Michael Bay. It's
just
all
Michael
outer.
Bay, yeah.
That-
It's all outer.
That's
There's
the
nothing but an
beauty.
empty
There's
shell.
no inner.
That's the and isn't that the Transformers franchise?
Well, we should talk about this next week.
It's
with
all
Bumblebee.
outer, not inner.
We should talk about this with Bumblebee next week.
Well, that's not Michael Bay though.
I know.
Is it not?
No, it felt like a Michael Bay film though.
I think he's. You're just
Oh, maybe we'll have to debate this next week.
possibly.
There's a chance we won't agree on Bumblebee.
We'll see.
It's no Michael Bay. We can
I would agree
on
with
that.
that. I would
Okay.
agree with that.
All right.
I think we might mean different things by that.
That I agree with too.
But yes.
Look at us agreeing on almost everything
I
at the
know.
end of the show.
Any last thoughts?
It was a terrible film. Any last thoughts from you? Like as we wrap up?
Well, there are the implications of the end, which we kind of already touched on. That
Yeah.
Atlantis is now being ruled by a complete outsider to their system.
Who knows nothing about it?
Someone who pretty much just seems to do what he wants and has no real connection or care for Atlantis and
Yes.
her people.
So
Yeah.
no real change.
I think he's going to build a wall.
That's what Orm should have done. Had he just rallied the people to build a wall.
Yeah.
Build a wall, get rid of
Listen,
water,
the crustaceans
suffocate.
are not sending their best crabs.
So you just want to bring
Some
it
of-
back to more shtick you've
Some
written.
of them are
Got
hard
it.
shell. Some of them are soft shell, and I'm sure, there's a few that are good crabs.
Wait.
Have you?
Are
how
hard
much-
shell or soft shell?
I don't know.
Good.
I was like, did you put that much effort? into
No, I did not. I literally just
Okay.
came up with that off the top of my head.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't get me started on the seahorses that are basically drug mules.
Yeah, I think we may
We
have.
can end.
I think we might have
Build a wall
hit the
around
end.
Atlantis.
Wait, so now if you do build a wall,
I think this Aquaman show.
do you lose the water and they suffocate?
No, because the water's everywhere. You're blocking out the people, not the water.
no,
But if
wait,
you don't block the top off, people can just go above the wall.
But they've got guns that shoot people.
Oh, okay.
They did try to build a wall, I guess, if you think about it, back in the day. So, yeah. But the good news is with you, calling for a wall, Aquaman has, I think, more than any of our podcasts clearly delineated our differing political positions.
I was being sarcastic.